The quiet power of the Sigma male, a deep dive. True power does not announce itself with fanfare. It does not clamor for attention or demand validation from the crowd. Power is quiet strength, an unshakable confidence that does not require external approval to exist. In a world obsessed with self-promotion, where ambition is often measured by volume rather than substance, there exists a different kind of man. He does not seek the throne, nor does he crave the spotlight. He understands that real influence is not wielded through theatrics, but through unwavering self-possession. While society celebrates extroversion, loud ambition, relentless networking, and performative leadership, this man operates differently. He rewrites the rules without uttering a word. He does not need a podium to command respect, a crowd to affirm his worth, or applause to validate his existence. His strength lies in his silence, his independence in thought, and his refusal to be molded by the expectations of others. He is not swayed by trends, nor does he bend to fit into predefined roles. He moves with intentionality, not impulse, and his presence is felt not because he demands it, but because his energy is undeniable. Beyond the meme, the reality of the Sigma male. This man is often labeled a Sigma male, a term that has been diluted by internet culture into a caricature of aloofness and faux superiority. But we are not talking about the overused, oversimplified trope. We are talking about real traits, real behavior, and real power. Being Sigma is not about positioning oneself above others. It is not about rebellion for the sake of standing out or rejecting norms simply to appear different. It is about radical self-honesty, the willingness to live by one's own code, regardless of the cost. It means prioritizing inner truth over external validation, even when that choice leads to isolation, discomfort, or the loss of social approval. The Sigma path, a solitary but sovereign journey. This path is not for the faint of heart. It is isolating by design, because true independence requires detachment from the herd mentality. It demands emotional mastery, the ability to remain composed when others seek drama, to think critically when others follow blindly, and to stand firm when the crowd sways with every passing trend. Most men will never walk this road. They will cling to the safety of conformity, trading freedom for the illusion of belonging. But if you've ever felt a quiet resonance with solitude, if you've sensed a deeper strength in silence, if you've been pulled toward a life outside the rigid structures of societal expectation, then this is not just a personality type. It is a mirror, reflecting the man you already are or the man you are becoming. More than a label, a call to authenticity. This is not another superficial personality breakdown. It is a reality check, a challenge, and a blueprint for the man who refuses to be defined by noise. The purpose is not to slap on a label, but to strip away the illusions, to confront the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are when no one is watching. You do not need permission to think differently. You do not need validation to trust your instincts. But in a world that pathologizes independence, you might occasionally need a reminder: you are not crazy for wanting more than the script society handed you. You are not broken for valuing depth over distraction, substance over spectacle. So hit play. Count the signs. See where you truly stand. The journey begins now. Let's dive in. Number 1, you're the black hole of social expectations. Everything gets sucked in, and nothing comes out. You absorb the pressure to conform but never release it in your choices. Ever notice how the world around you seems to have a never-ending list of things you should do? You should act a certain way, dress a certain way, even think a certain way. The pressure to fit into some predefined box is constant. Whether it's your friends, your family, or society in general, everyone has an opinion on what's normal or acceptable. But you've learned how to take it all in without letting it shape who you are. You're like a black hole when it comes to these expectations. Everything gets pulled in, absorbed by your awareness, but nothing ever escapes. The constant pressure to conform, to act like everyone else, to follow trends? It doesn't make it past the surface. It's like water off a duck's back. You don't bend to these pressures. You don't allow them to seep into your decisions or how you choose to live. Instead, you take all that noise, all that pressure, and just hold it, without reacting. No need to conform. No need to explain yourself. You quietly process it all, and then nothing happens. You don't let these external demands influence your choices. You make your own path, and it's always rooted in what feels true to you, not what's trendy or expected. And here's where it gets powerful: the more you absorb, the less you release. People can try to mold you, but you've got the ability to exist outside their definitions. They can push all the norms, standards, and social pressures your way, but at the end of the day, it's your life. You stay true to yourself, no matter what anyone else thinks or expects. In a world that's always pushing, it's your ability to resist and remain authentic that sets you apart. You're not here to fit in. You're here to remain unapologetically you. And that's the kind of quiet power that can't be shaken. Number 2, you've turned down opportunities because they required compromise. The price of your soul isn't up for negotiation. Some doors stay shut, by choice. This one stings a bit, for the world, not for you. Because while most people chase every opportunity thrown their way, you've learned something most never do. Not every offer is worth saying yes to. You've been in situations where the paycheck was fat, the perks looked shiny, or the deal sounded too good to pass up, but deep down, something didn't sit right. Maybe it clashed with your values. Maybe it asked you to fake it. Maybe it meant giving up a piece of who you are just to get ahead. So you did something rare. You walked away. Not because you're lazy. Not because you're scared. But because you've made a quiet decision in life. Your integrity isn't for sale. And in a world that rewards compromise disguised as opportunity, that makes you dangerous, in the best way. People might call you stubborn. Or foolish. Or say you're missing out. But what they don't see is what you're protecting, your peace, your freedom, your sense of self. You don't just want to win. You want to win on your own terms. And if that means shutting doors, burning bridges, or saying no to shortcuts, so be it. Because the moment you sell out once, it becomes easier to do it again. And you know better. You know how easy it is to lose yourself while chasing something that never really mattered in the first place. So instead of forcing open every door, you've learned to trust your gut, and sometimes, close the door yourself. That's not weakness. That's strength most people don't have. If this point hit home, the next few might just feel like a mirror. Number 3, you've been underestimated so often, it became your strategy. Your silence isn't submission, it's recon. People have misread you for years. They saw your quiet nature and assumed you had nothing to say. They mistook your calm for weakness, your stillness for fear, your silence for submission. But little did they know, that silence? It was a tactic, a weapon, a lens. You've learned something most people never figure out: power moves best in silence. While others talk, you listen. While they posture, you observe. You don't jump to prove yourself, you wait. You study people. You catch the lies they think they're hiding. You pick up on patterns, motives, insecurities. You track power dynamics like it's second nature because while they're busy putting on a show, you're collecting intel. You don't interrupt. You don't argue. You nod. You watch. And then, when it matters most, you strike. That's why you're dangerous. You let them think they've got you figured out. You let them underestimate you because once someone believes you're not a threat, they drop their guard. And that's when you make your move, with precision. You don't seek attention. You let results speak. You don't need to bark to prove you bite. And by the time they realize you're not quiet because you're weak, but because you're 10 steps ahead, it's already too late. Being underestimated used to annoy you. Now, you count on it. It gives you room to maneuver. It gives you the upper hand. While they're looking for loud leaders and showmen, you're working, silently, efficiently, in the shadows. So no, your silence isn't passive. It's not fear. It's reconnaissance. Every quiet moment is a calculation. Every nod is a measurement. Every pause is preparation. And when the time comes to speak, act, or lead, you do it with impact they never saw coming. That's not just survival. That's strategy. And it works every time. Number 4, you're allergic to hierarchy, even if you're at the top. Being in charge doesn't excite you. Being free does. You lead when necessary, vanish when not. This hits different when it's true. You're not the kind of man who dreams about being the boss just to boss people around. Titles don't impress you. Power doesn't tempt you. Control? You don't need it. Because deep down, what you crave isn't status. It's freedom. You don't want to rule over people. You want space, to move, think, and be without anyone trying to cage you in. Traditional structures, corporate ladders, group pecking orders, social cliques, they all feel off to you. Not because you can't rise through them, you can, but because playing those games feels fake, draining, small. You'd rather walk your own path through the jungle than climb a polished staircase built by someone else. And yes, sometimes you lead. But not because you want the spotlight. You lead because no one else knows what the hell they're doing, and someone has to take control. So you step up. Handle business. And when the job is done, you disappear. No need for praise. No need to stick around and bask in the credit. You're already on to the next mission, or back in your own world, where things make more sense. You see, for a Sigma, leadership isn't about dominance. It's about necessity. You're not trying to control others. You're trying to avoid being controlled. You thrive where there's space, not structure. You follow your own code, your own compass, and your respect isn't earned by rank. It's earned by action. So if you've ever walked away from a promotion just to keep your peace, or turned down power because it came with strings, you're not crazy. You're just built different. You'll start to see yourself more clearly with every point. Number 5, you've become your own role model. You stopped idolizing others and built the man you needed. There was a time you looked up to people, athletes, artists, leaders, maybe even influencers. You admired their discipline, their strength, their confidence because something in you wanted that too. But over time, something shifted. You started to see the cracks, the hype, the human flaws behind the perfect images. And one day, it hit you. No one's coming to save you. That's when everything changed. You stopped waiting for someone to show you how it's done. You stopped worshiping people who don't know you exist. You took the best pieces of what you respected in others and started building it into yourself. No shortcuts. No pretending. You didn't just dream about the man you wanted to be, you started becoming him. That meant facing your weaknesses head on. It meant setting standards no one was holding you to. It meant getting up on days you didn't feel like it, pushing through when no one was watching, and standing tall even when no one clapped. You became the kind of man your younger self would have looked up to. You didn't need a spotlight. You didn't need a fan club. You needed one thing, self-respect. And that came from doing the hard work in silence, growing where no one saw and holding yourself to a code you didn't steal from anyone else. Now, you move differently. You don't chase approval. You don't compare. You're not trying to be like anyone else because you've become someone worth admiring, to yourself. And that's what really counts. You built a role model from scratch by becoming the man you once wished you had. Not perfect. Not flashy. But real, solid, unshakable. And that kind of self-made strength? That can't be copied. Only earned. Number 6, you could vanish and rebuild your life anywhere. You've thought about it more than once. Detachment is your power, not your flaw. Ever catch yourself looking at a map, some random city or quiet town you've never been to, and thinking, I could start over there. No drama. No announcement. No trail. Just go. Cut the noise. Rebuild from scratch. Not out of desperation. Out of freedom. That thought doesn't scare you. It calms you, because deep down, you know something most people don't. You're not tied to any place, title, or identity. You've built yourself from the ground up once, maybe twice, and you could do it again if you had to. Or even if you just wanted to. This isn't about running away. It's about knowing you don't need to stay anywhere that no longer feels right. You don't cling to comfort zones. You don't fear change. You know how to let go of people, routines, even your past. That's not cold. That's control. Most people stay stuck because they're attached to a job, a reputation, a lifestyle that's eating them alive. You stay light. You stay ready. You've thought about cashing out, deleting your socials, packing a bag, and just disappearing, not because you're broken, but because the idea of total freedom excites you more than fitting in ever could. That ability to detach? That's your edge. It makes you unshakable. You're not desperate to belong because you already belong to yourself. You're not addicted to the familiar because you're fluent in uncertainty. And while others panic at the thought of losing it all, you know you could lose everything today, and by tomorrow, you'd be rebuilding, quietly, brick by brick, better than before. If you've ever felt that quiet pull to disappear and rise again, keep watching. You're not lost. You're just built for something different. Number 7, you get more out of a night alone than a night out. Inner peace is your drug. Social highs are temporary distractions. Let's talk about something most people won't admit. Being alone feels better than being surrounded by people you can't connect with. While others are chasing parties, loud music, fake laughs, and group selfies, you're at home, in silence. And honestly, you wouldn't trade it for anything. You've tried the social scene. You've gone out, played along, smiled at all the right moments, and sure, there were some fun nights. But deep down, it always felt temporary, surface level, like something was missing. Because for you, being around people just to avoid being alone isn't your style. When you're by yourself, something powerful happens. Your mind clears. Your energy resets. You think deeper. You feel more. You might read, build, create, or just sit in stillness. And somehow, it feeds your soul in a way no crowd ever could. That's not loneliness. That's alignment. You don't need external noise to feel alive. You don't need validation from a room full of strangers. Your high comes from peace, from focus, from knowing yourself better every day. You walk into Monday sharper, not because of a wild weekend, but because you spent Sunday night recharging while the world was burning itself out. That's the difference. Social highs fade by morning. But inner peace? That stays with you. It makes you stronger, clearer, harder to shake. And no, it doesn't mean you hate people. It means you value your time, your energy, and your mind too much to waste it on empty conversations and forced fun. So if you've ever chosen quiet over chaos, or deep rest over shallow noise, you're not weird. You're in tune. And that's something most people won't understand until they burn out chasing distractions. Just know this. The path you're on? It's rare, but it's real. And you're not alone. Number 8, you don't chase purpose, you create it. You're not looking for some external mission. You define your own game and play it with ruthless intent. Most people spend their lives searching for a purpose, trying to find that one thing they're meant to do. They look for signs, wait for a calling, or follow the paths others lay out for them. But you've learned that purpose isn't something you find. It's something you make. You're not sitting around, hoping someone will hand you the meaning of your life. You've realized that you're the author of your own story. You decide what's important. You set your own rules, even if they don't fit into anyone else's idea of success. Whether it's business, personal growth, or just the way you choose to live, your purpose is self-made, shaped by your actions and your vision, not some outside force. This doesn't mean you're reckless or blindly ambitious. No, you're methodical, calculated. You're the kind of person who wakes up every day knowing exactly what the goal is, even if no one else does. You don't need validation. You don't need someone telling you what to do. You create your own momentum, and once it starts, there's no stopping you. You play by your own rules, not the world's. And when things get tough, you don't ask, why me? You ask, how do I make this work? There's no waiting for inspiration. You know that the grind, the real grind, comes from within. No one else can define your purpose for you. It's your life, your choices. And you're in the driver's seat, steering with relentless focus. What most people see as luck or chance, you see as strategy and decision-making. You're not a passenger in life. You're the one calling the shots, unapologetically. You're not out here to fit into the world's expectations. You're here to redefine the game. And that's power. Number 9, you feel more powerful when unseen. You're not hiding, you're conserving energy. You don't seek attention because mystery gives you leverage. Let's break that down. Some guys need to be seen to feel alive. They need to be noticed, heard, liked, validated. Every room they enter is another stage to perform on. But you're different. You're the one in the corner, watching everything, saying little, but knowing exactly what's going on. And that's not weakness. That's strategy. You're not quiet because you have nothing to say. You're quiet because you're always calculating, always conserving, always choosing your moments. You don't spill your energy just to be included. You don't entertain just to belong. You figured out that being invisible sometimes gives you more power than being in the spotlight ever could. When no one sees you coming, they can't block you. When people don't know your next move, they can't control it. You move like smoke, unpredictable, untouchable, impossible to pin down. That's not hiding. That's precision. The truth is, attention is a currency most people overspend. They chase likes, followers, applause. But you've learned that real influence comes from what people don't know about you. Your silence makes them wonder. Your absence makes them think. Your mystery becomes your armor. So no, you're not antisocial. You're not closed off. You're not afraid to shine. You just don't shine for the sake of it. You light up only when it matters, and when you do, people notice. Not because you asked them to, because you earned it. That's power, quiet, calm, unshakable. And if you've ever felt that deep, unexplainable strength when you're operating in the background, congratulations. You already speak the language of Sigma. Now, keep watching, because this checklist is just getting started. Number 10, you experience burnout from faking normal. Pretending to care about office politics or pop culture is exhausting. You crave realness, or solitude. Let's be real. Some days, just existing in the world feels like acting in a bad play. You nod at the right times. Force small talk. Laugh at things that aren't funny. Pretend to care about conversations that make your brain want to shut down. And by the end of the day, you're drained, not from doing too much, but from pretending to care about things that don't matter to you. That's the quiet struggle of someone who thinks deeply, feels deeply, and sees through the surface-level nonsense most people treat as normal. Office politics? You see right through the fake smiles and subtle power games. Gossip and celebrity drama? Feels like background noise. Groupthink and fake enthusiasm? That's not your language. You're not rude. You're not antisocial. You just can't keep pretending that shallow equals interesting. You crave realness, conversations that go somewhere, people who mean what they say, silence that isn't awkward. And when you can't find it, you disappear. Not to escape, but to recharge. Because solitude gives you something the world rarely does. Honesty. Here's the truth. Faking normal doesn't make you weak. It makes you aware. It means you've woken up, you've realized the difference between fitting in and selling out. And now? You're tired of the mask. That exhaustion you feel? That's not burnout from work. It's burnout from pretending you don't care when you do, and pretending you do care when you don't. So if you'd rather be alone with your thoughts than stuck in a room full of noise? Good. That's not dysfunction. That's clarity. The more you recognize this pattern, the more you'll understand the power of standing apart. Number 11, your peace is your currency, and most people can't afford your presence. If they cost your clarity, they can't stay. You've reached a point in life where peace isn't just something you want, it's something you protect ruthlessly. The older you get, the clearer it becomes. Peace is expensive, and not everyone deserves to be in your space if the price is your clarity, your energy, or your sanity. You've been around enough chaos to know what it costs: the drama, the fake friendships, the people who drain you with their constant need for attention or validation. It all chips away at your calm. And that calm? It's not just comfort. It's your foundation. Your power base. When your mind is clear, you're sharp. You're dangerous, in the best way. You move with purpose. You don't waste time. You build. You grow. You win. So now? You don't let just anyone in. You don't hand out access like candy. Your presence is earned, not owed. And if someone brings noise, confusion, or emotional mess into your life, you walk. No guilt. No explanations. Just a quiet exit and a locked door. This isn't about being cold. It's about being clean in your thoughts, your decisions, your space. You've stopped trying to fix people who don't want to change. You've stopped dimming your light to make others comfortable. Because if someone costs you your peace, they're too expensive. Most people aren't used to boundaries this strong. They'll call you distant, cold, too serious. Let them. You know the truth. Protecting your peace is how you protect everything: your focus, your growth, your future. And the ones who truly value you? They won't try to disturb your calm. They'll respect it, because they'll see what you already know. Your peace isn't up for negotiation. It's your standard. And it's non-refundable. Final words, conclusion. Here's the truth. This isn't about fitting into a label. It's not about ticking boxes so you can say, yeah, I'm one of them. The Sigma mindset isn't a badge, it's a way of living that most people will never fully understand. Because it doesn't seek validation, attention, or applause. It's about being self-directed in a world that demands obedience. It's about trusting your instincts more than you trust the crowd. It's about mastering solitude without losing your warmth. And yes, it's about building a life so solid, so internally anchored, that nothing outside of you can shake it. If you recognized yourself in even a few of these traits, it's not because you're trying to be something. It's because you already are. You've been walking this path quietly, maybe even unknowingly, but deliberately. And while the world may never throw you a parade for it, you don't need one. You live it. But here's the encouragement. Don't water yourself down to be more relatable. Don't shrink your depth just because shallow minds find it intimidating. And don't doubt your path simply because it's different. The right people will feel you, even if they never fully understand you. So, how many do you have? Enough. Enough to know who you are, what you value, and what you refuse to become. Stay grounded. Stay sharp. And above all, stay you. That's the real checklist. And you're already living it. Thank you for watching, and God bless.